What up, everybody? YouTube Live. Mm. This is yours truly, Rama Screen, covering movies, TV, and entertainment. And right now it's Sunday night, January 20th, 2019, which also means the third episode of the new season 3 of one of my favorite HBO series, True Detective. I probably should say limited series because it doesn't come every season or every year. Um, so okay, there's a lot to unpack here. I will be spilling some spoilers, so this review is mostly for those of you who have watched tonight's new episode. So once again, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! You've been warned. I will be discussing some spoilers. Partly also because I'm trying to give you a refresher or recap of what happened in the previous episodes. As you know, and I'm still trying to remember all the names or all the players, all the characters involved in this new season. So forgive me if I'm sometimes drawing a blank and I have to go to the list on my screen. Mahershala plays Wayne Hayes. Carmen Ejogo plays Amelia. Stephen Dorff plays Roland West, who is Wayne Hayes' partner. Scoot McNairy plays Tom Purcell, the dad of the missing children, or missing daughter, I should say, because the boy, as you know in the previous episodes, the boy died. Ray Fisher plays Wayne Hayes' grown son, Henry Hayes. Ray Fisher, as you know, is the guy who plays Cyborg in the DC cinematic universe. Okay. Um, Tonight's episode, what are my thoughts about it? I got some notes here, but let's start with the fact that maybe it's a good thing that HBO doesn't have the same format as the other um premium service content provider out there. I'm talking about like HBO's shows are not bingeable. They don't drop the whole 13 or 10 or 8, in a batch in one packet for you guys to binge watch it. I remember there was some kind of a question about this that was brought up to the HBO programming president, and he said, like, I'm glad that we're not like Netflix. I think it's a good thing. People want our shows to be on, to receive our shows on a weekly basis. And back to this one, True Detective. I just want to say that yeah, that's a good thing, because if they had dropped the 13 episodes, the entire I'm sorry, I don't think there are 13 episodes this season. There are 8. There you go, 8 in this season 3. If they dropped the entire 8, I would probably be tempted to just jump to episode 8 to see to see who done it. It's like, oh my god, I'm so anxious to see who did this crime, who murdered that boy. So yeah, I guess just as a side note, I'm just saying that I'm relieved that HBO doesn't, because now it really, really quenches our thirst, and it allows for writer Nick Pizzolatto to slowly but surely and steadily um, reveal the picture. The puzzles, the pieces are not all there, but that's the appeal of it. Every week you get something, a new piece, a couple of new pieces. Just like in tonight's episode, remember there are 3 time periods: the 80s, and then the second time period is the 90s, early 90s. Last time I said it was 90s or 2000. My bad, I was mistaken. It's early 90s. Um, and the third time period is 2015, I believe. So in the third time period, old man Wayne Hayes is starting to lose his memory, starting to get senile, and that's how the episode tonight kind of starts out with, because it left off last weekend with Wayne Hayes, Grandpa Wayne Hayes. Let's just call him Old Man or Grandpa Wayne Hayes. Uh, Finds himself in an intersection outside. He doesn't remember how he got there. I'm like, whoa, did I just kind of sleepwalk out here, or what happened? And so him and his son, they're in the doctor's office, and Wayne is very defensive about the whole situation. Um, tonight's episode also the pieces. Let's go. Let's go to discuss that. Let's go to discuss that. Basically, the pieces, the new evidence, or at least new clues that let's just use present tense that are unraveled in tonight's episode involve a photo album that reveals that the little kid, what's his name, Willie, because he's found dead in a praying position. There's this photo album that shows a photo of him having done that same exact praying position, and that's just like whoa, freaky shit, right? Because now your brain starts to kind of work even more, wondering like, okay, if that is part of his early, um, I don't know, being an altar boy or whatever you call it, then you kind of wonder like who took the photo, right? Or who is involved with that ceremony or event. Because either one of those people could be the perpetrator. Man, I'm tongue tied right now. Could be the criminal. Let's just put it that way. Um, so that's one of the clues. The other clues are, if you have watched tonight's episode, what I observe is that, I know the album thing is a major clue, but there are also small clues in between, like the tire treads and uh some of the clues that, because they meet this one old man in his house who tells them about, oh yeah, I've told the other cop this and that, and so some verbal details as well. And I'm thinking that the 2015 Grandpa Wayne Hayes is going to be able to put those together somehow. But the problem is Nick Pizzolatto, the writer, makes things complicated by the fact that Grandpa Wayne Hayes, uh, played by Mahershala Ali with that old man prosthetics on his face and his white hair, um, that he's losing his mind, that he's losing his memory. And you could tell that, at least I'm getting the impression that old man Hayes or Wayne Hayes is trying to close this case before he knows that he's gonna lose his memory altogether, or worse, die. So this is like he's feeling that desperation and pressure. It's like, I gotta finish it. I gotta do this. And also that brings me to my next note. Tonight's episode has got to be probably one of the scariest moments in True Detective True Detective series history, because season 1 and season 2, I don't remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember those seasons. Wait, I remember now. Vince Vaughn in season 2, as he's after he got shot and he's walking the desert, and he thinks he's still walking, right? But then his body's left behind. He's not gonna his soul is just walking, and his wife kind of like accompanies him through that whole thing. I remember now. So there had been ghost like presence also in the previous seasons, but in tonight's episode, I think it's a lot scarier. The whole thing with Amelia showing up in the background behind old man Wayne Hayes, and then the music too, and then the kids running around also in the back. It's like, whoa, what is this? A horror film? Um, is this produced by Jason Blum? That kind of gave me the Jeepers Creepers a little bit. Jeeves Willies. It's like, whoa. And she also provides another clue. Remember, if you've seen the episode, you remember what she said. She said, "You're scared that they might find out what you left in the woods. You got to finish this. You got to finish this." So he has a lot of reasons to close the case before he loses his mind entirely, and or worse, dies. But another reason is that apparently there's this big secret that he left in the woods. We don't know what that is. And out of the 8 episodes, we don't know which episode that Nick Pizzolatto will reveal that in. So, but yeah, that's just the tonight's episode is full of like those moments that make you like, whoa, as an audience, as a fan, you're like, whoa, what's that? Oh, what about this? Oh, he did not. Oh man, that just really twists the mystery and the your whatever kind of preconceived. Maybe if you have some kind of thought about who may have done it, or maybe you have a thought about how the crime went down with those two kids. Like all of a sudden, tonight's episode kind of like shifts that paradigm or throws a monkey wrench at that at your thought and was like, holy crap, we did not see that coming. All right, this changes everything. So it makes it even more exciting, which is why also I'm kind of surprised why the previous first two episodes last week, remember it premiered with two episodes at the same time. It did not get the big ratings that the previous True Detective season premieres got, or received. And I'm like, oh, I hope fans or audiences would give this season a chance because I think the writing is. I think this is Nick Pizzolatto coming back on top of his game. Um, all right, before we conclude, there's some other notes. Oh yeah, the scene tonight in which he almost lost his kids. He's in this grocery store or Walmart, and then uh, he lost track of his daughter, and then he panics, and then he's like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And you could tell, man, you could tell this case that's been haunting him all these years. It really takes a toll on him as a dad. He even takes it out on his wife, and when his wife finds another clue because his wife uses her sexuality kind of to lure the detectives working on uh the pharmacy crime, because Julie supposedly is still alive and is involved with some robbery in pharmacy. So she's getting the clues from them, by using her sex appeal, which I think is fantastic. She even says that, "Oh, I'm divorced, my ex-husband." She lies really well. That's kind of scary and sexy at the same time. So he takes it out on her. Um, all this fear, it's like, oh my god, I almost lost my. Instead of taking personal responsibility, but you can tell the case really, really takes a toll on him. Um, about that though, I've heard from people. I'm not a parent, but I have friends who are parents, and they tell me the feeling is like, your kids running around. It's like your heart is running around outside your body. I think President Obama also has used that illustration once. So I don't know how that feel, but I mean, holy crap! I can only imagine the fear if a parent loses somebody, or loses their kid in a grocery market. Even as in a place that's supposedly not in the woods or not too vast. That already is enough to freak a parent out, and you could see that in Wayne Hayes' face the whole time. Tonight's episode also um shows us where Wayne's partner, Roland West, where he is in the second time period. So we don't see him in the 2015 yet, but in the 90s, and he's pretty successful. He's a lieutenant in the state police. He's moved up the ranks. He's a boss now, and he has put together a task force to kind of reopen the case and to really find what happened to the kids, especially now there's this new news that Julie is still alive and is involved with some kind of robbery. And so he invites Wayne to work with him on this task force. And so that's where they are now. Um, my thoughts about Roland West. Well, let me give you my review. My review of Steven Dorff's performance. Not a lot of people would give Steven Dorff a lot of credit, um, but man, I've admired him since Blade, man, when he plays that villain Deacon. Um, and then I remember seeing him in that Sofia Coppola movie somewhere, uh, co-starring Elle Fanning. He's a fantastic actor, and in this one, he has that with this really deep bassy voice, or southern bassy voice, and so calm and soothing, but articulate, and it's just such a, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here, um, like a southern charm kind of guy, like, and he really supports his partner. Yeah, that's also another thing too. I think there's something to be said about how the writer Nick Pizzolatto doesn't really concern himself with matters of prejudice or racism between these two partners. Um, one of them is black, one of them is white. Who cares? They're partners, and they have each other's back, and that's that. And even the people who they question, because remember, this is Arkansas, man. Arkansas is in the South. Even they don't see them as black and white. They just see them as cops, and that's something. Um, it's fascinating because I don't remember if the relationship between Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson's characters in the first True Detective season one. I don't know if the camaraderie in that one was as solid or was as strong as the camaraderie between Wayne Hayes and Roland West in this season. So it's nice. It's nice to see if they do have disagreements or arguments. It's not necessarily about pissing contest or who has the bigger badge or who's the lieutenant now. So um, Roland knows that Wayne is a freaking good tracker, and Wayne really respects Roland for being having his back no matter what, for allowing him to do his tracking thing, what he does best. And lastly, my note, the one regarding the garbage man. Remember, he's a Vietnam War vet, just like Wayne and Roland are Vietnam War vets as well. And the garbage man got pretty much beat up tonight in tonight's episode by some of the townspeople. If this had been a fairy tale book, those folks would be carrying like uh, torches and pitchforks. Let's get the ogre. Um, but man, here's the thing though. What's so cool about Nick Pizzolatto is that he can make you feel one way about a character, and then bam, another thing happened, and then you see that character in a different light, and that's what happened tonight. Um, you empathize because the garbage man got beat up by some bigots, who 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 took matter into their own hand, like some kind of vigilantes, like as if they as if they just knew that, oh yeah, you're the one behind it, don't ever look at kids anymore. It's like, okay, what did he do? He's just trying to survive. But then the next scene happens, and you see the garbage man carrying something out of the shed, what looks like or could be perceived as a kid's body in a duffel bag. uh you could say, hey Rama, maybe that's his dog. Maybe he just died the other day and he put him in his bag, and then he goes off, hurrying to bury him immediately, so as to not be mistaken for a person's body, or that when the police goes look for his shed or inside his shed, and they won't find anything like that. um maybe, but we did not get to see what's inside that bag tonight. So Now there's another thing, too. That's another thing. Remember, I mentioned to you earlier. Just when you thought that you kind of have some picture of the puzzle, but bam, Monkey Wrench hits it, and it's like it just changes. Like wow, now it's like anything's still game, man. Anybody could still be a suspect at this point. It's really really hard to pinpoint um, who Nick Pizzolatto will have the pretty much the mark target on as far as the perpetrator. So I just love the story, man. It's so as I mentioned in the previous review, it's chilling. It makes you think. It's thought provoking. It 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 throws a curveball out of nowhere, and it makes you rethink it again or reevaluate your opinion or your assessment about it. It's just such a smartly written script. And another writer that's really good at murder mysteries like this, at least the novels I've read, uh, is Dennis Lehane. Dennis Lehane, of course, the author of The Shutter Island and Gone Girl, Gone Baby Gone. Um, he's another person that I can think of also whose work I've read is whose murder mystery work is as intricate as this one. Nick Pizzolatto, fantastic writer, and I hope ratings wise, I hope people would give this season a chance. Um, there's a lot going for it from the performance, from the script standpoint. Great quality, and I'm glad as far as Sunday night goes, there's nothing really big on the other channels. Not because last year Sunday night was also for Star Trek Discovery, but they moved that to Thursday this season, so that's good. And Sunday night now is also Supergirl, but we all know Supergirl's quality is never as good as any of the shows on HBO's quality. So now it's just Sunday night is just True Detective night. So I hope you guys give it a chance and check it out on HBO. All right, that's my review of tonight's season 3, episode 3, titled The Big Never, that takes a look at the relationship between Wayne Hayes and his wife and then provides all kinds of new clues that emerge in this episode. What do you guys think of those clues? Um, what did we overlook, or what do you think the detectives overlook? Or maybe do you have an idea of who's the person behind that crime against those kids? Um, where do you think the story would which direction would it take in the which turn in the subsequent episodes? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you can help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this.